Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Prominent authors and thinkers in digital discourse analysis. Prominent authors and thinkers in digital discourse analysis have significantly influenced our understanding of how digital media shapes communication, power dynamics, and societal interactions. This exploration focuses on the contributions of 5 key figures: Norman Fairclough, Teun A. Van Dijk, Turkle, Henry Jenkins, and Jean Burgess. Each of these scholars offers unique perspectives and frameworks for analyzing digital media, providing invaluable insights into the interplay between discourse, technology, and society. 1. Norman Fairclough. Norman Fairclough is a prominent figure in the field of discourse analysis, particularly known for his development of critical discourse analysis, CDA. His work has significantly influenced how researchers approach the study of language, power, and society, including the analysis of digital media. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, and its application to digital media. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, is a methodological approach that examines the ways in which discourse, language in use, reflects, constructs, and maintains power relations in society. Fairclough's CDA framework involves a detailed analysis of texts, considering both the linguistic features and the social context in which they are produced and consumed. Key aspects of CDA. Textual analysis. CDA involves a close examination of the linguistic features of a text, such as vocabulary, grammar, and rhetorical devices. This level of analysis helps to uncover the implicit meanings and assumptions embedded in the language. Discursive practice. This aspect of CDA examines how texts are produced, distributed, and consumed. It considers the ways in which texts are shaped by and shape social practices and institutions. Social practice. CDA also looks at the broader social and cultural context, exploring how discourse contributes to the maintenance or transformation of social structures and power relations. Application to digital media. In the context of digital media, CDA can be applied to analyze how online texts, such as social media posts, blogs, news articles, and comments, reflect and influence social power dynamics. Here are some examples of how CDA can be applied to digital media. Social media discourse. Researchers can use CDA to examine how language on social media platforms reflects and shapes public opinion and social norms. For instance, analyzing tweets during political campaigns can reveal how candidates and supporters use language to construct identities and persuade voters. News media. CDA can be used to analyze how digital news articles frame certain events or issues, highlighting which voices are given prominence and which are marginalized. This can help to uncover biases and power relations within the media industry. Online communities. The discourse within online communities, such as forums and discussion boards, can be studied to understand how group identities are constructed and how power relations operate within these groups. For example, examining the language used in a subreddit can reveal how community norms and values are enforced. The interplay between discourse, power, and society. One of Fairclough's central contributions to discourse analysis is his exploration of the relationship between discourse, power, and society. He argues that discourse is both a medium for social interaction and a means of social control, playing a crucial role in the reproduction of power relations. Discourse as a medium of power. Construction of social identities. Discourse is a key tool in constructing and negotiating social identities. For example, the way people talk about gender, race, or class can reinforce or challenge social hierarchies and power structures. Ideological effects. Discourse can serve to naturalize certain ideologies, making them appear as common sense or unquestionable truths. For instance, media discourse often reinforces neoliberal economic policies by framing them as the only viable solution to economic problems. Hegemony and resistance. Fairclough's work draws on the concept of hegemony, where dominant groups maintain power by securing the consent of the governed. However, Discourse also provides a space for resistance, where marginalized groups can challenge dominant ideologies and power structures. Digital media and power dynamics. Algorithmic influence. In digital media, algorithms play a significant role in shaping discourse by determining what content is visible to users. This can reinforce existing power dynamics by amplifying dominant voices and marginalizing dissenting ones. User-generated content. The participatory nature of digital media allows for a more diverse range of voices to be heard, potentially challenging traditional power structures. However, it can also lead to the spread of misinformation and the reinforcement of echo chambers. Surveillance and control. Digital media platforms often collect vast amounts of data on users, which can be used for surveillance and control. This raises important questions about privacy and the power of corporations and governments over individual users. Fairclough's CDA provides a valuable framework for analyzing the complex and dynamic interplay between discourse, power, and society in the digital age. By examining how digital texts are produced, distributed, and consumed, researchers can uncover the ways in which language shapes and is shaped by social power relations, offering insights into the transformative potential of digital media. 2. Teun A. Van Dijk. Teun A. Van Dijk is a leading scholar in the field of discourse analysis, particularly known for his research on discourse, power, and ideology. His work has significantly influenced how discourse is studied in relation to social structures, power dynamics, and ideologies, providing valuable frameworks for analyzing digital media texts and their societal impacts. Research on discourse, power, and ideology. Teun Van Dijk's research emphasizes the intricate relationship between discourse, power, and ideology, exploring how language not only reflects but also perpetuates power structures and social inequalities. Key concepts in Van Dijk's research. Discourse and power. Van Dijk investigates how discourse contributes to the maintenance and reproduction of power relations within society. He posits that those in power use language strategically to legitimize their dominance and marginalize others. Ideology. Ideologies are systems of belief that shape how individuals perceive and interpret the world. Van Dijk examines how ideologies are embedded in discourse and how they influence social cognition, contributing to the reinforcement of power dynamics and societal norms. Social cognition. This concept involves the mental processes that underpin individuals' understanding and interpretation of social realities. Van Dijk explores how discourse influences social cognition by shaping the mental models individuals use to make sense of their experiences and the world around them. Mechanisms of ideological control. Legitimization. Discourse often serves to legitimize the actions and beliefs of dominant groups, making their dominance appear natural and justified. For instance, political discourse might frame certain policies as necessary for national security, thus legitimizing restrictive measures. Polarization. Discourse can create and reinforce divisions between in-groups and out-groups, often depicting the latter in negative terms. This polarization can perpetuate stereotypes and justify unequal treatment. Naturalization. Ideologies are often naturalized through discourse, presented as common sense or universally accepted truths. For example, economic discourse might naturalize neoliberal principles, presenting them as the only logical approach to economic policy. Framework for analyzing digital media texts and their societal impacts. Van Dijk's frameworks for discourse analysis provide robust tools for examining digital media texts and understanding their societal impacts. His approach integrates both micro-level textual analysis and macro-level contextual analysis. Key components of Van Dijk's analytical framework. Textual analysis. This involves a detailed examination of the linguistic features of a text, such as vocabulary, grammar, and rhetorical strategies. It aims to uncover the underlying meanings and ideological stances embedded in the language. Contextual analysis. Van Dijk emphasizes the importance of considering the broader social, political, and cultural context in which a text is produced and consumed. This includes understanding the power relations and ideological frameworks that shape and are shaped by discourse. Cognitive analysis. This component focuses on how discourse influences and is influenced by social cognition. It examines how texts shape individuals' mental models and, consequently, their perceptions and actions. Application to digital media. Social media discourse. Van Dijk's framework can be applied to analyze how social media discourse perpetuates or challenges power relations and ideologies. For instance, analyzing tweets from political leaders can reveal how they use language to frame issues, mobilize support, and marginalize opponents. News media. Digital news platforms are fertile ground for analyzing the interplay between discourse, power, and ideology. Examining how news stories are framed, which voices are given prominence, and how information is presented can uncover underlying biases and ideological influences. Online communities. The discourse within online communities, such as forums and social media groups, can be studied to understand how collective identities are constructed and how power dynamics operate within these spaces. For example, analyzing discussions in a political forum can reveal how members construct and reinforce shared beliefs and ideologies. Algorithmic influence. Van Dijk's framework also highlights the role of algorithms in shaping digital discourse. Algorithms determine what content is visible to users, influencing the circulation of ideologies and the reinforcement of power structures. Analyzing the outcomes of algorithmic curation can reveal biases and power imbalances in digital media. Societal impacts of digital media discourse. Reproduction of inequality. Digital media discourse can contribute to the reproduction of social inequalities by perpetuating stereotypes and reinforcing dominant ideologies. For example, the portrayal of marginalized groups in digital news can influence public perceptions and policy decisions. Political mobilization. Digital media plays a crucial role in political mobilization and activism. The discourse used by political movements on social media can galvanize support, frame issues, and challenge existing power structures. Analyzing this discourse can provide insights into the strategies used to influence public opinion and affect change. Public opinion. The framing of issues in digital media discourse can shape public opinion and influence social and political outcomes. For instance, how climate change is discussed in digital media can affect public awareness and policy responses. Teun A. Van Dijk's research and analytical frameworks offer powerful tools for understanding the complexities of digital media discourse. His emphasis on the interplay between discourse, power, and ideology provides valuable insights into how digital texts shape and are shaped by societal structures and processes. 3. Sherry Turkle. Sherry Turkle is a renowned author and professor specializing in the social studies of science and technology, with a particular focus on the psychological and sociological impacts of digital technology on human relationships and identity. Her work has significantly contributed to our understanding of discourse in virtual communities and digital interactions. Studies on technology's effect on human relationships and identity. Sherry Turkle's research explores how digital technology, particularly the internet and mobile devices, affects human relationships, self-perception, and identity formation. Key themes in Turkle's research. Identity in the digital age. Turkle examines how digital environments provide new spaces for identity exploration and expression. She argues that online personas allow individuals to experiment with different aspects of their identities in ways that are not always possible in the physical world. For example, social media profiles and avatars in virtual worlds enable people to present themselves in idealized or alternative forms. The concept of alone together, in her influential book, Alone Together, Turkle discusses the paradox of digital connectivity, where people are constantly connected through technology yet often feel more isolated. She highlights how digital communication can create an illusion of companionship without the demands of friendship, leading to superficial interactions and a decline in deep, meaningful relationships. Technology and intimacy. Turkle explores how digital technology impacts intimacy and relationships. She argues that constant connectivity can interfere with face-to-face interactions and diminish the quality of relationships. The preference for digital communication over direct conversation can lead to a lack of genuine emotional connection. Digital dependency. Turkle also addresses the issue of digital dependency, where individuals become reliant on technology for social interaction, validation, and self-esteem. This dependency can affect mental health and well-being, as people may struggle to disconnect and engage in offline activities. Understanding of discourse in virtual communities and digital interactions. Turkle's work delves into how discourse functions within virtual communities and digital interactions, shedding light on the dynamics of online communication and community building. Key insights into digital discourse. Virtual communities. Turkle's studies highlight how virtual communities provide a sense of belonging and identity for their members. These communities, which can form around shared interests, experiences, or goals, offer spaces for individuals to connect, support each other, and engage in collective discourse. For instance, online forums and social media groups create environments where people can share knowledge, seek advice, and build social networks. Online identity construction. In virtual communities, discourse plays a crucial role in identity construction and presentation. Turkle notes that individuals craft their online identities through the language they use, the content they share, and the interactions they engage in. This process of identity construction is fluid and can change based on the context and audience. Impact of anonymity. Anonymity in digital interactions can significantly affect discourse. Turkle points out that anonymity can encourage openness and honesty, allowing individuals to share thoughts and feelings they might withhold in face-to-face interactions. However, it can also lead to negative behaviors such as trolling and cyberbullying, as people feel less accountable for their actions. Language and interaction. Digital interactions often involve a blend of written and visual language, including text, emojis, GIFs, and memes. Turkle explores how these multimodal forms of communication influence the way people express themselves and understand each other. The brevity and informality of digital discourse can lead to misunderstandings and misinterpretations, yet it also allows for creativity and immediacy in communication. Discourse and social norms. Turkle examines how digital discourse both reflects and shapes social norms within virtual communities. The ways people communicate online can reinforce or challenge societal norms and values. For example, discourse around social justice issues on platforms like Twitter can raise awareness and drive social change, while also highlighting the power dynamics and conflicts within these digital spaces. Societal impacts of digital discourse. Changing nature of social interaction. Turkle's work illustrates how digital discourse is transforming social interaction. The ease and speed of digital communication enable constant connectivity but can also lead to a preference for mediated interactions over direct communication. This shift has implications for how relationships are formed and maintained in the digital age. Psychological effects. The nature of digital discourse can impact psychological well-being. The pressure to present an idealized self online, the constant comparison with others, and the fear of missing out, FOMO, can contribute to stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Turkle emphasizes the need to find a balance between digital and offline interactions to maintain mental health. Cultural shifts. Digital discourse is contributing to broader cultural shifts, including changing attitudes towards privacy, identity, and community. The norms and practices of online communication are influencing how people think about themselves and their place in the world, shaping contemporary culture in significant ways. Sherry Turkle's research provides valuable insights into the complex relationship between digital technology, human relationships, and identity. Her exploration of discourse in virtual communities and digital interactions highlights both the opportunities and challenges posed by digital communication, emphasizing the need to critically assess the impact of technology on our social and psychological well-being. 4. Henry Jenkins. Henry Jenkins is a prominent scholar in media studies, known for his influential concepts of participatory culture and convergence culture. His work has significantly contributed to our understanding of how digital media and online communities shape content creation and cultural dynamics. Concepts of participatory culture and convergence culture. Participatory culture. Participatory culture refers to a culture in which individuals actively engage in the creation, sharing, and circulation of content, rather than being mere consumers of media. Jenkins emphasizes the democratization of media production, where digital tools and platforms enable a broader range of voices to participate in cultural discourse. Key characteristics of participatory culture. Low barriers to artistic expression and civic engagement. Digital tools and platforms lower the barriers to entry, allowing more people to create and share content. This democratization fosters greater diversity in cultural production. Support for creating and sharing one's creations. Online communities and social networks provide support systems for content creators, offering feedback, encouragement, and collaborative opportunities. Informal mentorship and knowledge sharing. Participatory culture often involves informal mentoring, where experienced creators guide novices. Knowledge is shared freely, contributing to skill development and community growth. Members believe their contributions matter. Individuals in participatory cultures feel that their contributions are valued and can have an impact. This sense of agency encourages active participation. Social connection. Participatory culture fosters a sense of community and belonging, as individuals connect over shared interests and collaborate on content creation. Convergence culture. Convergence culture describes the blending and merging of traditional and new media, where content flows across multiple media platforms, and audiences are no longer passive consumers but active participants in the media landscape. Jenkins argues that convergence is not just about technological merging but also involves cultural and social processes. Key aspects of convergence culture. Media convergence. The flow of content across various media platforms, where stories, brands, and messages are disseminated through a combination of old and new media. For example, a single narrative might unfold across a television show, a video game, social media, and fan fiction. Participatory culture. Audience participation is central to convergence culture. Fans and consumers actively engage with media, creating fan fiction, remix videos, and other forms of user-generated content that expand and reinterpret the original material. Collective intelligence. Convergence culture relies on the collective knowledge and contributions of its participants. Online communities pool their knowledge to solve problems, create content, and develop deeper understandings of media texts. Transmedia storytelling. This involves telling a story across multiple platforms, each contributing uniquely to the narrative. For example, a movie might be complemented by a web series, comic books, and interactive websites, each adding new layers to the story. Analysis of digital media and online community content creation. Jenkins' theories provide a framework for analyzing how digital media and online communities shape content creation, emphasizing the collaborative and participatory nature of contemporary media production. Digital media content creation. User-generated content. Jenkins highlights the importance of user-generated content in digital media. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram empower users to create and share videos, photos, and stories, contributing to a diverse media landscape. These platforms also provide opportunities for grassroots creativity and innovation. Fan communities. Fan communities are a prime example of participatory culture, where fans engage deeply with media texts, creating fan fiction, fan art, and other derivative works. These activities extend the life and meaning of media properties, often influencing mainstream media production. Collaborative projects. Digital platforms facilitate collaborative projects, where users work together to create content. Wikipedia, for example, is a massive collaborative project where volunteers contribute to and curate a comprehensive online encyclopedia. Similarly, open-source software projects rely on the collective efforts of programmers worldwide. Online community dynamics. Collective intelligence. Online communities leverage collective intelligence, where members contribute their knowledge and expertise to solve problems and create content. Jenkins points to examples like fan wikis, where fans collaboratively build extensive databases of information about their favorite media properties. Social networks and influence. Social networks play a crucial role in content dissemination and influence. Jenkins examines how social media platforms enable the rapid spread of ideas, memes, and cultural artifacts, often driven by user engagement and interaction. Cultural participation and activism. Digital media and online communities also facilitate cultural participation and activism. Jenkins discusses how grassroots movements use digital platforms to mobilize support, raise awareness, and affect social change. Examples include online petitions, hashtag campaigns, and digital activism. Impact on traditional media. Blurring of producer-consumer boundaries. Jenkins argues that the lines between producers and consumers are increasingly blurred in the digital age. Audiences are not just passive recipients of media. They actively engage in content creation, interpretation, and distribution. Influence on media production. The participatory nature of digital culture influences mainstream media production. Media companies monitor online communities and social media to gauge audience interests and feedback, often incorporating user-generated content and ideas into their productions. Economic and legal challenges. The rise of participatory culture poses economic and legal challenges, particularly regarding intellectual property rights. Jenkins explores the tensions between corporate control and user creativity, advocating for more flexible and inclusive approaches to copyright and content ownership. Henry Jenkins' concepts of participatory culture and convergence culture provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the dynamics of digital media and online community content creation. His work emphasizes the collaborative, interactive, and democratizing potential of digital technologies, highlighting the transformative impact of these developments on media production, consumption, and cultural participation. 5. Jean Burgess. Jean Burgess is a prominent scholar in the field of digital media studies, with a particular focus on digital storytelling and social media platforms. Her research provides valuable insights into the discursive practices and cultural implications of online content creation, highlighting the complex interplay between technology, culture, and communication in the digital age. Digital storytelling and social media platforms. Jean Burgess has extensively explored how digital storytelling evolves on social media platforms, emphasizing the ways these platforms shape and are shaped by user practices. Digital storytelling. Definition and scope. Digital storytelling involves the use of digital tools and platforms to tell stories. These stories can range from personal narratives shared on social media to collaborative projects involving multimedia elements. Burgess examines how digital storytelling democratizes content creation, enabling a wider range of voices to participate in public discourse. Platforms and practices. Different social media platforms offer unique affordances and constraints for digital storytelling. For instance, Twitter's character limit encourages concise, often fragmented storytelling, while platforms like Instagram and TikTok emphasize visual and audiovisual narratives. Burgess studies how users adapt their storytelling practices to fit the specific features and norms of these platforms. User-generated content. Burgess emphasizes the role of user-generated content in digital storytelling. Social media platforms empower individuals to create and share their stories with a global audience, often leading to new forms of creativity and expression. This user-generated content can influence mainstream media and contribute to cultural trends. Social media platforms. Affordances of platforms. Burgess highlights the concept of affordances, which refers to the possibilities for action provided by a particular environment or tool. Social media platforms offer specific affordances that shape how users interact, create content, and tell stories. For example, the retweet function on Twitter allows for the rapid spread of content, while Instagram stories offer ephemeral, visual storytelling. Platform cultures. Each social media platform develops its own culture, shaped by user behaviors, platform policies, and technological features. Burgess explores how these platform cultures influence digital storytelling practices and the types of narratives that emerge. For example, TikTok's algorithm promotes virality, encouraging users to create catchy, short-form videos that can quickly gain widespread attention. Algorithmic influence. Algorithms play a crucial role in shaping the visibility and reach of digital stories on social media. Burgess examines how algorithmic curation affects what content gets seen and by whom, highlighting the power of platforms to influence public discourse and cultural production. This influence can both empower and limit user agency, as algorithmic biases can reinforce existing power dynamics and marginalize certain voices. Insights into discursive practices and cultural implications of online content creation. Burgess provides critical insights into the discursive practices involved in online content creation and the broader cultural implications of these practices. Discursive practices. Narrative forms and genres. Burgess studies the diverse narrative forms and genres that emerge on social media platforms. These can include personal diaries, micro-narratives, memes, and collaborative stories. Understanding these forms helps to reveal how digital storytelling reflects and shapes cultural norms and values. Interaction and engagement. Social media storytelling is inherently interactive, involving continuous engagement between content creators and their audiences. Burgess explores how this interactivity influences narrative construction and dissemination. Comments, likes, shares, and other forms of engagement contribute to the co-creation of stories and meaning. Identity and self-presentation. Digital storytelling on social media is closely linked to identity construction and self-presentation. Burgess examines how individuals use storytelling to express their identities, build social connections, and navigate the complexities of online visibility. This includes the performative aspects of social media, where users craft their narratives to align with personal and social expectations. Cultural implications. Democratization of media production. One of the key cultural implications of digital storytelling is the democratization of media production. Burgess argues that social media platforms enable more people to participate in cultural production, challenging traditional gatekeepers and creating more inclusive public spheres. Cultural convergence. Burgess's work often intersects with the concept of cultural convergence, where traditional media, user-generated content, and participatory culture blend. This convergence leads to new forms of storytelling that draw on multiple media sources and cultural references, creating hybrid narratives that reflect the complexities of contemporary culture. Global and local dynamics. Digital storytelling operates within a global context, yet it is deeply influenced by local cultures and contexts. Burgess explores how global and local dynamics intersect in digital narratives, leading to the circulation of culturally specific stories that resonate across different audiences. This includes examining how local issues and identities are represented and reinterpreted on global platforms. Ethical and social considerations. The cultural implications of digital storytelling also involve ethical and social considerations. Burgess addresses issues such as privacy, consent, and the potential for exploitation in digital storytelling practices. She advocates for critical awareness and ethical standards in the production and sharing of digital stories. Jean Burgess's research offers a comprehensive understanding of how digital storytelling and social media platforms shape contemporary discourse and culture. Her insights into the discursive practices and cultural implications of online content creation highlight the transformative potential of digital media while also addressing the challenges and complexities involved in this evolving landscape. Conclusion. The work of Norman Fairclough, Teun A. Van Dijk, Sherry Turkle, Henry Jenkins, and Jean Burgess underscores the complexity of digital discourse analysis. Their contributions highlight the intricate relationships between discourse, power, ideology, and digital technology. By applying their theories and frameworks, we gain a deeper understanding of the cultural, social, and individual impacts of digital media, enriching our analysis and engagement with contemporary digital environments. Frequently asked questions. Who is Norman Fairclough and what is his contribution to digital discourse analysis? Norman Fairclough is a prominent figure in the field of critical discourse analysis, CDA. His work focuses on the interplay between discourse, power, and society. In the context of digital media, Fairclough's CDA framework helps analyze how digital texts can shape and reflect societal power dynamics and ideologies. How does critical discourse analysis, CDA, apply to digital media? Critical discourse analysis, CDA, applies to digital media by examining how language in digital texts constructs social realities, power relations, and ideologies. It analyzes how digital content, such as news articles, social media posts, and online discussions, influences and reflects societal structures and power dynamics. What are Teun A. Van Dijk's main research areas? Teun A. Van Dijk focuses on discourse, power, and ideology. His research provides a framework for analyzing digital media texts and their societal impacts, emphasizing how language and communication in digital spaces can perpetuate or challenge power structures and ideological beliefs. How does Van Dijk's framework help in analyzing digital media texts? Van Dijk's framework helps in analyzing digital media texts by focusing on the relationship between discourse and power. It looks at how digital texts, like news stories, social media posts, and blogs, can reinforce or challenge social hierarchies, and how they influence public opinion and societal norms. What is Sherry Turkle known for in the context of digital discourse analysis? Sherry Turkle is known for her studies on technology's effect on human relationships and identity. Her work explores how digital interactions and virtual communities shape our understanding of self and social relationships, providing insights into the discourse that occurs in these digital spaces. How does Sherry Turkle's work help us understand discourse in virtual communities? Turkle's work helps us understand discourse in virtual communities by examining how people communicate and form relationships in online environments. She analyzes how digital interactions influence our perceptions of identity and community, and how these virtual discourses affect real-life social dynamics. What are Henry Jenkins' key concepts related to digital media? Henry Jenkins introduces the concepts of participatory culture and convergence culture. He analyzes how digital media allows users to actively participate in content creation and how different media forms converge to create complex storytelling and community-building experiences. How does Jenkins' concept of participatory culture apply to digital discourse analysis? Jenkins' concept of participatory culture applies to digital discourse analysis by highlighting how digital media platforms enable users to engage in content creation, collaboration, and sharing. This participation shapes online communities and influences the production and dissemination of digital narratives. What are Jean Burgess' contributions to understanding digital discourse? Jean Burgess contributes to understanding digital discourse by focusing on digital storytelling and social media platforms. Her work provides insights into the discursive practices and cultural implications of online content creation, examining how social media shapes public discourse and cultural trends. How do Burgess' insights into digital storytelling inform our understanding of online content creation? Burgess' insights into digital storytelling inform our understanding of online content creation by exploring how narratives are constructed and shared on social media platforms. She analyzes how these digital stories reflect and influence cultural values, social identities, and public discourse. How do these thinkers collectively enhance our understanding of digital discourse? Collectively, these thinkers enhance our understanding of digital discourse by providing diverse frameworks and insights into how digital texts, interactions, and platforms shape and are shaped by societal, cultural, and ideological factors. Their work helps us critically analyze the complexities of digital communication and its broader impacts on society.